I've never been called an idiot, a fool, a dreamer. You ever had someone look at you, locking your mind because you believed in something bigger than yourself? Let them talk. Let them doubt you. Because one day those same people who laughed will be the ones asking, how did you do it? See, people always doubt what they don't understand. They laugh at what they fear. They mock what they secretly wish they had the courage to pursue. But that ain't your problem. Your only job is to keep moving forward, to keep grinding, to keep believing in yourself, even when nobody else does. The road to success ain't paved with applause. It's paved with late nights, early mornings, and a whole lot of silent victories that nobody sees. It's paved with people telling you you're wasting your time, but deep down they wish they had your guts. There's going to be moments when you question yourself. Moments when their words get a little too loud. When their doubts start creeping into your mind. But that's when you got to dig deeper. That's when you remind yourself why you started. Because let me tell you something. The only way to shut them up is to win. They won't believe in you at first. They'll roll their eyes. They'll call you crazy. They'll tell you that's impossible. But when you start making moves, when they start seeing you climb, that's when the questions change. Wait, how did you do it? Can you teach me? Are you hiring? Funny how it works. The same people who called you an idiot will be the ones looking for your advice. They'll be the ones trying to learn from you. Because success does something to people that makes them rethink everything they doubted. But here's the thing, you don't need their validation. You don't need their approval. You don't need them to believe in you. All you need is that fire inside you, that relentless, unstoppable drive to become who you were meant to be. Some of y'all are sitting on dreams because you're waiting for permission, waiting for people to clap for you before you even start. Let me tell you something, nobody is coming to validate. Nobody is coming to tell you it's okay to chase your dream. You gotta want it for yourself. You gotta be willing to look foolish, willing to be misunderstood, willing to take risks when everybody else is playing it safe. Because the truth is, people only understand after you've made it. They'll tell you, oh, I knew you could do it. And they didn't. No, they didn't. They laughed. They doubted. They watched from the sidelines, waiting for you to fail. But now that they see you winning, they want to be part of the story. People will doubt you. They'll call you crazy, foolish, or a dreamer because they don't understand your vision. They see the world through their own limitations, their own fears, their own excuses. And when you step outside of what they consider normal, when you start chasing something bigger than they can comprehend, their first instinct is to laugh, to mock, to question your sanity. Not because they know better, but because your ambition reminds them of everything they were too scared to go after. Let them talk. Let them shake their heads and call you an idiot that doubt. That's not about you, it's about them. It's about their own insecurities, their own regrets, their own failures. When people don't believe in themselves, they can't stand to see someone else believe in something greater. So instead of supporting you, instead of trying to pull you back down, because if you actually make it, if you actually prove them wrong, then they would have to face the truth that they could have done it too. Tatisena. This is why most people never start. They're too afraid of being laughed at, too afraid of looking stupid, too afraid of what other people will say. But those same people, they'll be the ones clapping for you later. They'll be the ones pretending they always believed in you. Because success changes the conversation. The same voices that once called you a fool will start asking you how you did it. The same people who said it was impossible will start coming to you for advice. But none of it matters if you let their doubt stop you. If you start listening to their voices instead of your own, you'll end up just like them, sitting on the sidelines, wondering what could have been. You don't need their approval. You don't need them to understand. Your only job is to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep proving to yourself that you were right all along. Because when the results start showing, when they start seeing what you've built, they won't have enough to say. And that's when everything shifts. That's when the people who laugh start asking, how did you do it? That's when they go from doubters to spectators, from critics to admirers. But by then you won't even care, because you'll realize that their opinions never mattered in the first place. Doubt and fear fuel mockery. People mock what they fear and what they secretly wish they had the courage to pursue. It's not that they truly believe you're an idiot, it's that your ambition reminds them of their own hesitation. Your drive forces them to confront the fact that they gave up before they even tried. So instead of facing that uncomfortable truth, they choose the easy route. They laugh, they criticize, they try to tear you down. Because if they can make you feel small, it makes their own failures feel a little less painful. But deep down, they're not laughing at you, they're scared of what you represent. You are proof that the impossible might just be possible. That terrifies them. Because if you succeed, then they have to accept that they could have done it too. That's why they try to convince you to quit. That's why they call you crazy. It's not about you, it's about your own self-doubt. They'd rather believe that success is unreachable than accept that they were too afraid to chase it. Every great dreamer has faced this. Every person who ever tried to break the mold, to step outside the norm, has been met with resistance. It's always easier to criticize than to create. It's always easier to mock than to take a risk. The people who laugh the loudest are often the ones who once had dreams of their own, but let them die. Now, when they see you chasing yours, it stirs something inside them, regret, envy, and insecurity. But instead of being inspired, they lash out, hoping to drag you down to their level. And this is where most people fall. They let the laughter shake them. They let the criticism break their confidence. They start questioning themselves, wondering if maybe the doubters are right. But that's the biggest mistake you can make. Because the truth is, the moment people start mocking you, you're on the right track. Nobody laughs at mediocrity. Nobody criticizes someone who isn't doing something different. If they're talking, it means you're making moves. So let them mock. Let them doubt. Let them call you every name in the book. The same people who are laughing today will be asking for your help tomorrow. The same ones who called you a fool will be the ones trying to learn from you. And when that moment comes, you won't even need to say a word because your success will speak for itself. Success is built in silence. It doesn't come from the cheers of a crowd or the roar of the world. It comes from the moments when nobody's watching. The late nights when you're grinding alone. The early mornings when you're up before the rest of the world, putting in the work while they're still asleep. It comes from the sacrifices you make, the weekends you miss, the comfort you give up, the pain you endure. And the hardest part, nobody claps for you during these moments. Nobody is there to tell you, good job. It's just you, your vision, and the grind. This is why most people never make it. They want the rewards without the work. They want the applause without the sacrifice. They look at success like it's magic, like it just happens overnight. But what they don't see is the struggle behind the scenes. They don't see the doubts you have to fight through, the discipline you have to maintain, the battles you have to win in your own mind every single day. They only see the finished product, and when they do, they act surprised like it just came out of nowhere. But nothing great happens in front of an audience. Champions are made in the shadows. The strongest minds are built in isolation. The greatest breakthroughs happen in silence. The world only sees the highlights, the moments when everything finally comes together. But what they don't see is the countless hours of effort that led up to that moment. And that's why they don't understand. That's why they doubt. Because they only see the result, never the process. And this is where most people give up. Because when you're working in silence, when you're grinding without recognition, it's easy to feel like it's all for nothing. It's easy to wonder if any of it even matters. But that's when you have to push even harder. Because the truth is, the struggle you're facing right now, the sacrifices you're making, the effort you're putting in when nobody's watching, that's the price of success. And most people aren't willing to pay it. So let them think it's easy. Let them believe success just happens. Keep grinding in silence, keep sacrificing, keep building when nobody's watching. Because one day, when everything comes together, when the results start showing, they'll act shocked. They'll ask, how did you do it? And by then, they won't even realize they never saw the work, only the victory. You'll face moments of self-doubt, no matter how strong you are. No matter how driven, there will be times when the negativity around you starts creeping in. When the voices of doubt, both from others and from within, get a little too loud. You'll hear people questioning your decisions, mocking your efforts, telling you you're wasting your time. And after enough of it, you might start to wonder if they're right. If maybe, just maybe, you really are out of your mind for believing in something bigger. This is where most people break. Not because they aren't capable, not because they don't have the talent, but because they let the world's doubt become their own. They start seeing themselves through the eyes of their critics instead of through the vision they had when they started. And once that seed of doubt is planted, it grows fast. It makes you hesitate. It makes you second guess every step forward. It makes you feel like turning back would be easier than pushing through. But this is the test. This is where you have to remind yourself why you started in the first place. You didn't come this far just to quit when it got tough. You didn't push through the early struggles just to let a few voices throw you off first. You had a reason, a fire inside you that made you take that first step. And that fire is still there. It might flicker in the wind of doubt, but it won't go out unless you let it. The truth is, doubt never really disappears. Always lurking, always waiting for a moment of weakness. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't the absence of doubt. It's the refusal to let it control them. It's the choice to keep moving forward, to keep believing, even when everything inside them is screaming to give up. That's the moment when you prove to yourself that you're built different, that nothing and no one, not even your own doubts, can stop you. So when those moments come, when the negativity gets loud, don't let it shake you. Let it steal what you've worked for. Instead, let it remind you of what's at stake. Let it push you harder, make you more relentless, more determined than ever. Because when you keep going despite the doubt, when you refuse to break, that's when the world starts to take notice. That's when the same people who doubted you start asking, how did you do it? Winning silences doubt. Is the only way to shut them up is through undeniable success. You can argue with them, try to explain yourself, try to prove your worth with words, but it won't change a thing. People who doubt you don't listen to explanations, they only listen to results. And the moment you start winning, the moment they see you rise despite everything said, they go quiet. Suddenly, the ones who had the most to say have nothing left to add. But until that moment, they'll keep talking, they'll keep calling you a fool, keep telling you that you're wasting your time. They'll throw every reason at you why it won't work, why you should quit, why you should just play it safe like everyone else. And if you let that get to you, if you let their voices shake your confidence, then they win before the fight has even started. The only way to prove them wrong isn't by arguing, and it's by refusing to stop. That's what most people don't understand. They think they need validation before they start winning. They think they need people to believe in them before they push forward. But that's not how it works. Nobody believes in you at the start. Nobody claps for you in the beginning. You have to move forward in silence, grinding, pushing, working, even when nobody sees it. Because the truth is, the only thing that will ever change their minds is seeing you succeed despite them. And when that happens, everything shifts. The same people who doubted you, who laughed at you, who told you it was impossible, they suddenly want to know your secret. They start asking, how to do it. They start acting like they always knew you'd make it. But deep down, they remember what they said. They remember the doubt, the mockery, the dismissive looks. And now, standing in front of your success, they have no choice but to swallow every single word. So let them doubt, let them laugh. Let them call you whatever they want. Just keep moving forward, keep grinding, keep proving yourself right. Because when you win, when you achieve what they swore you never could, they won't have anything left to say. And at that point, you won't even need to respond because your wildest guess will speak louder than their words ever could. Doubters will eventually admire you. The same people who mocked you, who laughed at your dreams, who called you crazy, they would be the ones asking for advice one day. Right now, they can't see it. Right now, they think they've got you all figured out. They think you're just another fool chasing an impossible dream. But that's because they're judging you from the outside. They don't see the fire inside you. They don't see the sacrifices you're making. And most of all, they don't see how relentless you are. But time has a way of changing things. As you keep grinding, as you keep pushing forward, despite the noise, they start noticing. At first, they'll pretend it's luck. They'll say, oh, they just got lucky. Then as you keep rising, they'll start making excuses for why it happened. They must have connections. They must have had an advantage. Because admitting the truth that you made it because you refused, then quit would force them to confront their own excuses. And then one day the conversation changes. The same ones who laughed at you will start asking questions. How did you do it? What's your secret? Can you show me the way? It happens every time. People are quick to mock what they don't understand. But once they see success, once they see undeniable proof, their doubt turns into admiration. The same voices that once tried to tear you down will be the ones looking up to you. Here's the thing, you won't need their validation anymore. By the time they come around, you'll have already proven yourself. Not to them, but to yourself. Because success isn't about proving people wrong, it's about proving yourself right. It's about looking back at all the moments you wanted to quit and realizing that you were always capable. That the only thing separating you from them was the decision to keep going when they stopped. So let them doubt, let them mock, let them question you. Because there will come a day when the roles reverse. When the ones who try to tear you down will be the ones trying to lead on. And when that moment comes, you won't even need to say a word because your success will say everything for you. You don't need validation. Too many people sit around waiting for someone to tell them it's okay to chase their dreams. They wait for approval, for permission for someone to clap for them before they even start. And that's why most people never make it, because they never take the first steps without an audience cheering them on. But let me tell you something, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to tell you it's time. If you're waiting for the world to believe in you before you take action, you'll be waiting forever. The truth is, people won't believe in you at first. They'll question your ideas, doubt your ability, and tell you all the reasons why it won't work. And if you're looking for their approval, you'll hesitate. You'll second guess yourself. You'll start shrinking your dreams down to fit their limited vision. But the moment you stop needing validation, the moment you decide that you don't need anyone's permission to be great, that's when everything changes. That's when you start moving differently. Because real success doesn't come from people clapping for you. It comes from believing in yourself when nobody else does. It comes from trusting that inner voice, the one that tells you to keep going even when the world is against you. It comes from knowing deep down that you were meant for more, even when nobody else sees it yet. And once you understand that, once you truly own that mindset, nothing can stop you. Most people never reach their full potential because they let other people's opinions dictate their actions, and they let doubt and fear control them. But the ones who make it, they don't ask for permission. They don't wait for validation. They decide who they are and they act on it. They put in the work, they take the risks, and they push forward regardless of who's watching, regardless of who believes in them. And that's why they win. So stop waiting. Stop looking for signs, for approval, for someone to tell you it's okay to go after what you want. You don't need their validation. You don't need their permission. All you need is that fire inside you, that unshakable belief that we're meant for more. And when you start moving with that kind of conviction, the same people who doubted you will be the ones asking, how did you do it? Risk is necessary for success. If you're not willing to take risks, if you're not willing to step outside of your comfort zone, then you're never going to achieve anything extraordinary. Playing it safe might make you feel comfortable, but comfort doesn't lead to success. Success requires stepping into the unknown, taking chances, and being okay with the possibility of failure. And that's where most people falter. They want success, but they aren't willing to make themselves vulnerable. They're too afraid to risk looking foolish or being misunderstood. But the truth is, if you're not willing to take those risks, you'll never grow. Taking risks means being willing to fail. And failure isn't something people like to talk about, but it's part of the process. When you're chasing your dreams, you're going to make mistakes. People will laugh at you. They'll call you foolish. They'll question your judgment, your decision-making, and your sanity. But those are just the things that happen when you're out here doing something different, something most people are too afraid to try. If you're not willing to look foolish in front of others, then you're not really pushing the limits of what you can achieve. You've got to be comfortable with discomfort. You've got to be willing to be misunderstood. People won't always understand your vision, your drive, or your hustle. They won't see what you see. They'll think you're wasting your time, or they'll doubt your abilities. But none of that matters if you believe in yourself. The people who doubt you are not the ones living your life. They're not the ones taking the risks, making the sacrifices, or putting in the hours. So let them talk. Let them misunderstand you, because the only opinion that matters is your own. And when you believe in yourself enough to take risks, when you take action despite the doubters, that's when the magic starts to happen. In the beginning, it will feel like the world is against you. You'll face rejection, ridicule, and disappointment. People will point fingers, criticize you, and try to convince you to quit. But the more you push forward, the more you prove them wrong. It's not about proving them wrong just to be right. It's about proving to yourself that you're capable of more than they'll ever understand. It's about showing yourself that you had the courage to chase something greater than what's comfortable. So take the risk. Don't let fear or doubt keep you on the sidelines. If you want success, you've got to be willing to look foolish, to be misunderstood, and to put yourself out there. And as you keep pushing through the risk, as you keep building, the day will come when those same people who doubted you will ask for your advice. And that's when you'll realize that every single risk you took, every moment you were willing to look foolish was worth it. People only understand after you've made it, when you're on your journey, when you're grinding every day, when you're pushing through the obstacles and fighting the doubts. It feels like nobody gets. Nobody sees your vision. Nobody believes in what you're doing. They laugh, they question your choices, and they tell you you're wasting your time. And that's when the most critical thing happens. You start questioning yourself. You begin to wonder, right, if maybe they're seeing something you don't. But the truth is, people only see the end result. They only understand what you're doing after you made it, after they see the success that came from all the sacrifice. In the beginning, no one sees the struggle. They don't see the sleepless nights, the pain, the failures. They don't see the hours you put in, the risk you've taken, or the moments you wanted to quit but kept going anyway. All they see is the finished product, the success, the victory. And once they see that, once they see you've made it, they start to change their tune. Suddenly, they're no longer questioning you. Suddenly, they're not laughing at your dreams, they're asking how you did it. They start looking for answers, looking for a way to do what you've done. But where were they when you were still grinding? What's interesting is that the same people who doubted you, the ones who thought you were foolish, will be the first ones to claim that they always believed in you. The moment they see you winning, they'll start acting like they saw the potential in you all along. They'll try to take credit for your success, telling everyone how they knew you had it in you. But the reality is, they weren't there when you were struggling. They when you were fighting to keep your head above water. They weren't there in the moments when everything felt impossible. But now that you've made it, now that you've achieved what they never thought possible, they want to act like they always had faith in you. And that's the game, isn't it? People will doubt you until you've succeeded, until you've proven them wrong. They'll laugh, they'll question, they'll try to pull you down, but none of that matters. What matters is that you keep going, that you stay focused on your vision and your goals, even when nobody else believes in you. Because when you make it, when you achieve what they thought was impossible, that's when the narrative changes. That's when you'll see who was really on your side and who was just watching from the sidelines, waiting for the big fail. So let them doubt. Let them mock you, let them call you crazy. One day when you've made it, those same people will be the ones trying to tell you how they always believed that. And when that day comes, you won't need to say a word because your success will speak for itself. Use doubt as fuel. Every insult, every laugh, every dismissive comment that comes your way, use it. Don't let those words cut you down. Turn them into something powerful. When people doubt you, when they question your abilities, it's easy to feel discouraged. It's easy to want to prove them wrong out of anger or frustration. But let me tell you, don't focus on proving them wrong. Focus on proving yourself right. Use every insult, every last fuel to work harder, to push yourself further, to prove that their doubts were misplaced from the start. Every time they say you can't do it, remind yourself that you can. Let that negativity light a fire inside you that burns brighter than anything they could say. Doubt is a gift if you know how to use it. It's a challenge, a test that only those who are truly committed will accept. When people question your abilities, when they say you'll never make it, it's easy to want to fold, to give in to the pressure. But what if you could take that doubt and turn it into motivation? What if instead of feeling deflated by their disbelief, you allowed it to push you even harder? The truth is, the people who doubt you don't matter. What matters is how you respond. So use every doubt as fuel. Use every laugh as a reminder that they did see what you were capable of. Every time they tell you it's impossible, that's your cue to prove them wrong with action. In the face of doubt, some people shrink, they retreat, and they start to question their own worth. But the real winners are the ones who achieve the impossible, use doubt as their weapon. They don't let the world's disbelief stop them. Instead, they use it to drive them. They work even harder when nobody's watching. They stay up late and wake up earlier and put in the hours others are too afraid to. While others are resting, they're grinding. While others are laughing, they're hustling. Because they know that success isn't just about talent or luck, it's about the relentless drive to keep pushing forward. even when everyone else is doubting you. What you have to understand is that doubt isn't personal. When people mock you, when they question your choices, it's not about you. It's about their own limitations, their own fears, and their own insecurities. They can't see the potential in you because they don't see it in themselves. They can't imagine a reality where you succeed because they don't believe they can. So instead of letting that doubt hurt you, let it remind you that you're different. You're the one who believes in the impossible. You're the one who's willing to do what others aren't. And every time someone doubts you, you get a little closer to proving them wrong. So let their words be the fuel that propels you. Every laugh, every insult, every doubt, they don't matter. What matters is how you use them. Take the negativity and turn it into determination. Every time they tell you you can't, reply with a will. Every time they say you're crazy, respond by showing them just how crazy you really are. Because in the end, when you've made it, when you've achieved what they said was impossible, you'll be the one with the last laugh. And their doubt will have been the very thing that pushed you to the top. Success is proving yourself right. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success is about showing the doubters, the critics, and the naysayers that they were wrong about you. We want to prove to the world that we're capable, that we can achieve what they said we couldn't. But the truth is, success is not about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you can achieve what you set out to do. It's about fulfilling your own potential, about pushing yourself beyond your limits, and about becoming the person you always knew you could be. When you focus on proving yourself right, and that's when you stop caring about the opinions of others and you start living for yourself. Too many people spend their entire lives trying to get validation from others, trying to prove their worth to the world. They think that success is about silencing their critics or gaining the approval of those who doubted them. But that mindset will hold you back. When you make success by proving someone else wrong, you give away your power. You allow their doubts to control your actions. Instead, when you make it about proving yourself right, you take back control. You focus on your goals, your purpose, and your vision, and you do whatever it takes to fulfill that potential. Success becomes about you, not them. The only opinion that matters is yours. Everyone else will have something to say. Some will doubt, others will question, and a few might even try to tear you down. But the only voice that matters is the one inside you, the one that tells you to keep going when the world says you can't. When you make success about proving yourself right, you focus on what you can achieve, not on what others think. It doesn't matter if they don't believe in you. What matters is that you believe in yourself, and that belief is enough to carry you through the toughest times. Proving yourself right doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey that requires resilience, persistence, and the belief in the process. It's not about getting immediate results or recognition. It's about the work you put in when nobody's watching, the decisions you make when no one is cheering you on. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, because you know that every step forward brings you closer to fulfilling your potential. You don't need external validation to keep going. Your belief in yourself is what will keep you moving forward, even when others doubt you. And when you eventually reach the point of success, when you've proven to yourself that you were right all along, you'll realize something powerful. You did it for you. You didn't do it to impress anyone. You didn't do it to show the world that they were wrong. You did it because you knew that you had more in you, that you had untapped potential waiting to be unlocked. That's the real victory, the knowledge that you fulfilled your potential. And no one can ever take that away from you. And as you continue to grow and evolve, remember, success is not about what others think. It's about proving yourself right every single day. So let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them call you names, because every great success story starts with someone being doubted. Every millionaire, every champion, every game changer has been called crazy at some point. That's just part of the process. But you keep going. You keep building. You keep working when nobody's watching. Because one day, you're going to look back and realize that every insult, every doubt, every laugh was just fuel for your fire. Success ain't about proving them wrong, it's about proving yourself right. It's about waking up every day and making that promise to yourself, I'm gonna make it, no matter what. So let them call you an idiot today. Let them mock your dreams. Just make sure that one day, they're the same ones asking you for a job. And when that day comes, don't even waste your breath, just smile. Because deep down, they already know. Now listen to this message, lit a fire in you. If you feel that energy, if you know deep in your soul that you were meant for more than do yourself a favor, subscribe to Daily Motivation. Like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Because trust me, we're just getting started.